Yahweh, the Mighty One, is Elohim, and he has spoken. He has summoned all humanity from where the sun rises to where it sets. But do people know where to find wisdom? Where can they find understanding? No one knows where to find it, for it is not found among the living. It's worth more than all the gold of Ophir, greater than precious onyx or lapis lazuli. But do people know where to find wisdom? Where can they find understanding? Elohim alone understands the way to wisdom. He knows where it can be found. By wisdom Yahweh founded the earth. By understanding he created the heavens. Elohim has united you with the Messiah Emmanuel. For our benefit, Elohim made him to be wisdom itself. The Messiah made us right with Elohim. He made us pure and holy, and he freed us from sin. And he who is the glory of Israel will not lie, nor will he change his mind, for he is not human that he should change his mind. These are just the beginning of all that he does, merely a whisper of his power. Who then can comprehend the thunder of his power? Yahweh gives both death and life. He brings some down to the grave, but raises others up. Yahweh makes some poor and others rich. He brings some down and lifts others up. He lifts the poor from the dust and the needy from the garbage dump. He sets them among princes, placing them in seats of honor. For all the earth is Yahweh's, and he has set the world in order. He will protect his faithful ones, but the wicked will disappear in darkness. No one will succeed by strength alone. Those who fight against Yahweh will be shattered. He thunders against them from heaven. Yahweh judges throughout the earth. He gives power to his king. He increases the strength of his anointed one. He does great things too marvelous to understand. He performs countless miracles. He gives rain for the earth and water for the fields. He gives prosperity to the poor and protects those who suffer. He frustrates the plans of schemers, so the work of their hands will not succeed. He traps the wise in their own cleverness, so their cunning schemes are thwarted. He rescues the poor from the cutting words of the strong, and rescues them from the clutches of the powerful. He will save you from death in time of famine, from the power of the sword in time of war. He will once again fill your mouth with laughter, and your lips with shouts of joy. He shakes the earth from its place, and its foundations tremble. If he commands it, the sun won't rise and the stars won't shine. He alone has spread out the heavens and marches on the waves of the sea. He made all the stars, the Bear and Orion, the Pleiades, and the constellations of the southern sky. He does great things too marvelous to understand. He performs countless miracles, yet when he comes near, I cannot see him. When he moves by, I do not see him go. If he snatches someone in death, who can stop him? Who dares to ask, "What are you doing?" For he knows those who are false, and he takes note of all their sins. What he destroys cannot be rebuilt. When he puts someone in prison, there is no escape. If he holds back the rain, the earth becomes a desert. If he releases the waters, they flood the earth. He leads counselors away, stripped of good judgment. Wise judges become fools. He removes the royal robe of kings. They are led away with ropes around their waist. He leads priests away, stripped of status. He overthrows those with long years in power. He silences the trusted advisor and removes the insight of the elders. He pours disgrace upon princes and disarms the strong. He uncovers mysteries hidden in darkness. He brings light to the deepest gloom. He builds up nations and he destroys them. He expands nations and he abandons them. He strips kings of understanding and leaves them wandering in a pathless wasteland. They grope in the darkness without a light. He makes them stagger like drunkards. Elohim is so great, higher than the heavens, higher than the farthest stars. Submit to Elohim, and you will have peace. Then things will go well for you. Listen to his instructions and store them in your heart. If you return to the Almighty, you will be restored. So clean up your life. If you give up your lust for money and throw your precious gold into the river, the Almighty himself will be your treasure. He will be your precious silver. Then you will take delight in the Almighty and look up Elohim. You will pray to him, and he will hear you, and you will fulfill your vows to him. You will succeed in whatever you choose to do, and light will shine on the road ahead of you. If people are in trouble and you say help them, Elohim will save them. Even sinners will be rescued. They will be rescued because your hands are pure. I do not see him in the north, for he is hidden. I look to the south, but he is concealed. But he knows where I am going. And when he tests me, I will come out as pure as gold. So he will do to me whatever he has planned. He controls my destiny. Elohim is powerful and dreadful. He enforces peace in the heavens. Who is able to count his heavenly army? Doesn't his light shine on all the earth? Elohim is more glorious than the moon. He shines brighter than the stars. He wraps the rain in his thick clouds, and the clouds don't burst with the weight. He covers the face of the moon, shrouding it with his clouds. He created the horizon when he separated the waters. He set the boundary between day and night. The foundations of heaven tremble. They shudder at his rebuke. By his power the sea grew calm. By his skill he crushed the great sea monster. His spirit made the heavens beautiful, and his power pierced the gliding serpent. For he looks throughout the whole earth and sees everything under the heavens. He decided how hard the wind should blow and how much rain should fall. He made the laws for the rain and laid out a path for the lightning. Then he saw wisdom and evaluated it. He set it in place and examined it thoroughly. And this is what he says to all humanity: the fear of Yahweh is true wisdom. To forsake evil is real understanding. Doesn't he see everything I do and every step I take? He speaks in dreams, in visions of the night, when deep sleep falls on people as they lie in their beds. He whispers in their ears and terrifies them with warnings. He makes them turn from doing wrong. He keeps them from pride. He protects them from the grave, from crossing over the river of death. He rescues them from the grave so they may enjoy the light of life. He repays people according to their deeds. He treats people as they deserve. Truly, Elohim will not do wrong. The Almighty will not twist justice. Did someone else put the world in his care? Who set the whole world in place? For he says to kings, you are wicked, and to nobles, you are unjust. He doesn't care how great a person may be, and he pays no more attention to the rich than to the poor. He made them all. For Elohim watches how people live. He sees everything they do. He brings the mighty to ruin without asking anyone, and he sets up others in their place. He knows what they do, and in the night he overturns and destroys them. He strikes them down because they are wicked, doing it openly for all to see. For they turned away from following him. They have no respect for any of his ways. They cause the poor to cry out, catching Elohim's attention. He hears the cries of the needy. But if he chooses to remain quiet, who can criticize him? When he hides his face, no one can find him, whether an individual or a nation. He prevents the unrighteous from ruling so they cannot be a snare to the people. You say you can't see him, but he will bring justice if you will only wait. He does not let the wicked live, but gives justice to the afflicted. He never takes his eyes off the innocent, but he sets them on thrones with kings and exalts them forever. If they are bound in chains and caught up in a web of trouble, he shows them the reason. He shows them their sins of pride. He gets their attention and commands that they turn from evil. If they listen and obey Elohim, they will be blessed with prosperity throughout their lives. All their years will be pleasant. But by means of their suffering, he rescues those who suffer, for he gets their attention through adversity. Elohim is leading you away from danger, Job, to a place free from distress. He is setting your table with the best food. Look, Elohim is all-powerful. Who is a teacher like him? He draws up the water vapor and then distills it into rain. He fills his hands with lightning bolts and hurls each at its target. He directs the snow to fall on the earth and tells the rain to pour down. He loads the clouds with moisture, and they flash with his lightning. The clouds churn about at his direction. They do whatever he commands throughout the earth. He makes these things happen either to punish people or to show his unfailing love. So also, golden splendor comes from the mountain of Elohim. He is clothed in dazzling splendor. We cannot imagine the power of the Almighty, but even though he is just and righteous, he does not destroy us. Who gives intuition to the heart and instinct to the mind? Who is wise enough to count all the clouds? Who can tilt the water jars of heaven? Elohim is an honest judge. He is angry with the wicked every day. If a person does not repent, Elohim will sharpen his sword. He will bend and string his bow. He will prepare his deadly weapons and shoot his flaming arrows. He will judge the world with justice and rule the nations with fairness. For he who avenges murder cares for the helpless. He does not ignore the cries of those who suffer. Yahweh examines both the righteous and the wicked. He hates those who love violence. He will rain down blazing coals and burning sulfur on the wicked, punishing them with scorching winds. Yahweh looks down from heaven on the entire human race. He looks to see if anyone is truly wise, if anyone seeks Elohim. He opened the heavens and came down. Dark storm clouds were beneath his feet. Mounted on a mighty angelic being, he flew, soaring on the wings of the wind. He shrouded himself in darkness, veiling his approach with dark rain clouds. He shot his arrows and scattered his enemies. Great bolts of lightning flashed, and they were confused. He reached down from heaven and rescued me. He drew me out of deep waters. He rescued me from my powerful enemies, from those who hated me and were too strong for me. He led me to a place of safety. He rescued me because he delights in me. He makes me as sure-footed as a deer, enabling me to stand on mountain heights. He trains my hands for battle. He strengthens my arm to draw a bronze bow. He is the Elohim who pays back those who harm me. He subdues the nations under me, for he has not ignored or belittled the suffering of the needy. He has not turned his back on them, but has listened to their cries for help. He lets me rest in green meadows. He leads me beside peaceful streams. He renews my strength. He guides me along right paths, bringing honor to his name. Yahweh is good and does what is right. He shows the proper path to those who go astray. He leads the humble in doing right, teaching them his way. Who are those who fear Yahweh? He will show them the path they should choose. Yahweh is a friend to those who fear him. He teaches them his covenant. My eyes are always on Yahweh, for he rescues me from the traps of my enemies. For he will conceal me there when troubles come. He will hide me in his sanctuary. He will place me out of reach on a high rock. He makes Lebanon's mountains skip like a calf. He makes Mount Hermon leap like a young wild ox. He loves whatever is just and good. The unfailing love of Yahweh fills the earth. Yahweh merely spoke, and the heavens were created. He breathed the word, and all the stars were born. He assigned the sea its boundaries and locked the oceans in vast reservoirs. From his throne he observes all who live on the earth. He made their hearts, so he understands everything they do. But Yahweh watches over those who fear him, those who rely on his unfailing love. He rescues them from death and keeps them alive in times of famine. We put our hope in Yahweh. He is our help and our shield. Commit everything you do to Yahweh. Trust him, and he will help you. He will make your innocence radiate like the dawn, and the justice of your cause will shine like the noonday sun. The wicked plot against the righteous. They snarl at them in defiance. But Yahweh just laughs, for he sees their day of judgment coming. Yahweh directs the steps of the righteous. He delights in every detail of their lives. For Yahweh loves justice, and he will never abandon the righteous. He will keep them safe forever, but the children of the wicked will die. He lifted me out of the pit of despair, out of the mud and the mire. He set my feet on solid ground and steadied me as I walked along. He has given me a new song to sing, a hymn of praise to our Elohim. Many will see what he has done and be amazed. They will put their trust in Yahweh. Elohim would surely have known it, for he knows the secrets of every heart. For your royal husband delights in your beauty. Honor him, for he is your master. For Yahweh Most High is awesome. He is the great king of all the earth. He subdues the nations before us, putting our enemies beneath our feet. He chose the promised land as our inheritance, the proud possession of Jacob's descendants, whom he loves. The rulers of the world have gathered together with the people of the Elohim of Abraham. For all the kings of the earth belong to Elohim. He is highly honored everywhere, for that is what Elohim is like. He is our Elohim forever and ever, and he will guide us until we die. But as for me, Elohim will redeem my life. He will snatch me from the power of the grave. Our Elohim approaches, and he is not silent. Fire devours everything in his way, and a great storm rages around him. He calls on the heavens above and earth below to witness the judgment of his people. You love to destroy others with your words, you liar! But Elohim will strike you down once and for all. He will pull you from your home and uproot you from the land of the living. He will send help from heaven to rescue me, disgracing those who hound me. My Elohim will send forth his unfailing love and faithfulness. He alone is my rock and my salvation, my fortress where I will not be shaken. My victory and honor come from Elohim alone. He is my refuge, a rock where no enemy can reach me. He made a dry path through the Red Sea, and his people went across on foot. There we rejoiced in him. For by his great power he rules forever. He watches every movement of the nations. Let no rebel rise in defiance. Elohim places the lonely in families. He sets the prisoners free and gives them joy. But he makes the rebellious live in a sun-scorched land. All kings will bow before him, and all nations will serve him. He will rescue the poor when they cry to him. He will help the oppressed who have no one to defend them. He feels pity for the weak and the needy, and he will rescue them. He will redeem them from oppression and violence, for their lives are precious to him. Yes, he can strike a rock so water gushes out, but he can't give his people bread and meat. When Yahweh heard them, he was furious. The fire of his wrath burned against Jacob. Yes, his anger rose against Israel, for they did not believe Elohim or trust him to care for them. But he commanded the skies to open. He opened the doors of heaven. He rained down manna for them to eat. He gave them bread from heaven. They ate the food of angels. Elohim gave them all they could hold. He released the east wind in the heavens and guided the south wind by his mighty power. He rained down meat as thick as dust, birds as plentiful as the sand on the seashore. He caused the birds to fall within their camp and all around their tents. The people ate their fill. He gave them what they craved. But before they satisfied their craving, while the meat was yet in their mouths, the anger of Elohim rose against them, and he killed their strongest men. He struck down the finest of Israel's young men. But in spite of this, the people kept sinning. Despite his wonders, they refused to trust him. So he ended their lives in failure, their years in terror. When Elohim began killing them, they finally sought him. They repented and took Elohim seriously. Then they remembered that Elohim was their rock, that Elohim Most High was their Redeemer. Oh, how often they rebelled against him in the wilderness and grieved his heart in that dry wasteland. Again and again they tested Elohim's patience and provoked the Holy One of Israel. They did not remember his power and how he rescued them from their enemies. They did not remember his miraculous signs in Egypt, his wonders on the plain of Zoan. For he turned their rivers into blood, so no one could drink from the streams. He sent vast swarms of flies to consume them and hordes of frogs to ruin them. He gave their crops to caterpillars, their harvest was consumed by locusts. He destroyed their grapevines with hail and shattered their sycamore figs with sleet. He abandoned their cattle to the hail, their livestock to bolts of lightning. He loosed on them his fierce anger, all his fury, rage, and hostility. He dispatched against them a band of destroying angels. He turned his anger against them. He did not spare the Egyptians' lives, but ravaged them with the plague. He killed the oldest son in each Egyptian family, the flower of youth throughout the land of Egypt. But he led his own people like a flock of sheep, guiding them safely through the wilderness. He kept them safe so they were not afraid, but the sea covered their enemies. He brought them to the border of his holy land. To this land of hills he had won for them. He drove out the nations before them. He gave them their inheritance by lot. He settled the tribes of Israel into their homes. Yahweh is righteous in everything he does. He is filled with kindness. Yahweh is close to all who call on him. Yes, to all who call on him in truth. He grants the desires of those who fear him. He hears their cries for help and rescues them. Yahweh protects all those who love him, but he destroys the wicked. I will praise Yahweh, and may everyone on earth bless his holy name forever and ever. He will punish the nations and fill their lands with corpses. He will shatter heads over the whole earth. But he himself will be refreshed from brooks along the way. He will be victorious. The seventh angel sounded his trumpet, and there were loud voices in heaven which said, "The kingdom of the world has become the kingdom of our Master and of his Messiah, and he will reign forever and ever." I saw heaven standing open, and there before me was a white horse, whose rider is called Faithful and True. With justice he judges and wages war. His eyes are like blazing fire, and on his head are many crowns. He has a name written on him that no one knows but he himself. He is dressed in a robe dipped in blood, and his name is the Word of Elohim. The armies of heaven were following him, riding on white horses and dressed in fine linen, white and clean. Coming out of his mouth is a sharp sword with which to strike down the nations. He will rule them with an iron scepter. He treads the winepress of the fury of the wrath of Elohim Almighty. On his robe and on his thigh he has this name written, King of Kings and Master of Masters. And I saw an angel standing in the sun, who cried in a loud voice to all the birds flying in midair, Come, gather together for the great supper of Elohim, so that you may eat the flesh of kings, generals, and the mighty, of horses and their riders, and the flesh of all people, free and slave, great and small. Then I saw the beast and the kings of the earth, and their armies gathered together to wage war against the rider on the horse and his army. But the beast was captured, and with it the false prophet who had performed the signs on its behalf. With these signs he had deluded those who had received the mark of the beast and worshipped its image. The two of them were thrown alive into the fiery lake of burning sulfur. The rest were killed with the sword coming out of the mouth of the rider on the horse, and all the birds gorged themselves on their flesh. And I heard a loud voice from the throne saying, Look, Elohim's dwelling place is now among the people, and he will dwell with them. They will be his people, and Elohim himself will be with them and be their Elohim. He will wipe every tear from their eyes. There will be no more death or mourning or crying or pain, for the old order of things has passed away. He who was seated on the throne said, I am making everything new. Then he said, Write this down, for these words are trustworthy and true. He said to me, It is done. I am the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. To the thirsty I will give water without cost from the spring of the water of life. Those who are victorious will inherit all this, and I will be their Elohim, and they will be my children. Sing a new song to Yahweh. Let the whole earth sing to Yahweh. Sing to Yahweh. Praise his name. Each day proclaim the good news that he saves. Publish his glorious deeds among the nations. Tell everyone about the amazing things he does. Great is Yahweh. He is most worthy of praise. He is to be feared above all gods. The gods of other nations are mere idols, but Yahweh made the heavens. Honor and majesty surround him. Strength and beauty fill his sanctuary. O nations of the world, recognize Yahweh. Recognize that Yahweh is glorious and strong. Give to Yahweh the glory he deserves. Bring your offering and come into his courts. Worship Yahweh in all his holy splendor. Let all the earth tremble before him. Tell all the nations Yahweh reigns. The world stands firm and cannot be shaken. He will judge all peoples fairly.